Morning, everybody. How are you all doing? I thought, as some of you might know me, I like to do some honest posts as well. And I feel I need to further on from a little video that I shared with you yesterday when I was actually up at our yard doing mucking out a stable. So I'm still here. I'm in my coping tool, my dressing gown. But I, sadly, due to mobility issues, I have degenerative disc disease with extensive nerve damage. And the last 18 months has been very difficult. And I will say even heightened my mental health. I am recently diagnosed with post-traumatic stress and recently discovered that I'm actually suffer with depression because I'm just overwhelmingly sad. So I'm paying the price today from an hour of doing a little bit, and I have to reiterate I can do a little bit and then I pay for it the next day. So today I've had to have the day off, but I will say it was worth it for me to have my time out with my animals, surrounded by nature. It's the best medicine for anybody. So I don't want to dwell too much of having a day off because it's healthy. And this afternoon we are going to plant some seeds with the children, which I'm really looking forward to. The greenhouse that we got is ready to go, and we've got some things growing, so that's good. But that's another video entirely. But I wanted to talk about depression, and sadly, with what's happening, we can't avoid it. I had to go to a supermarket yesterday, but I was also meeting with different people to swap goods, so to speak. And it's a real sorry state of affairs. But I actually had to go into a supermarket and I was met by absolute cold, is probably one word I'd like to use. No care, the panic buys of completely everything, from freezer items, there was nothing left, from bread, nothing left, to hams and things like that. I was thankful to get meat, even though it wasn't meat that I would have liked to have got. So let's think that's the positive there. But I was faced with panic, not by just disappointment, not just by customers, but staff who work there as well. It must be so really difficult for them right now to be on the front line and to tell people, no, you can't have that much. And I'm going to say I was restricted. I'm a family of 4, and I was restricted yesterday on pot noodles. I got excited, and I will name where it was. It was a Tesco's store, and there was no meat, and I had to find something else. And I have to mention, I went to 2 stores yesterday. So Tesco's was my first one, and no toilet roll, bare minimum fruit. It was just bare. It was quite well. Anyway, I found some meat substances, and I thought yes, and I picked up pot noodles, but they were noodles, super noodles in a pot, beef flavour. So I picked up 4. I got to the checkout. Bearing in mind there's no signage anywhere, I might point out, or none that I noticed, because of the disarray in the shop. I'm not going to focus on a sign. I am just looking for food, and if I can't get that, what's my alternative? And I'm really thankful that my children have a wide diet, and I mean wide. They eat hummus, olives, chilies, real wholesome, good homemade cooked meals. So I'm very thankful. But I really worry for the families whose children are very rigid in what they eat. It seems to be a very selfish society, and this has got to stop. Our families are always forgotten about, and that's been clear cut from day one. which is quite horrifying. And again, not many people are thinking about the SEND community in this, and it's left to us to help each other yet again. But we'll do that because that's what we do. So all of these things happening, what is it doing to your mental health? Because I know how gut-wrenching it is, and I don't want to go out shopping because of how it makes me feel, and you can't avoid it. So I come home, and again, as a parent, you can't show your children how broken you are, how, frightened you are. I have a child that's diagnosed with PDA, and it's under the autism umbrella, and it's chronic anxiety and need to be in control. And when they are at their worst, and their self-worth, their self-esteem through trauma. For me, my child was failed in mainstream school by a male teacher, but I'm not going to go into that either. But it was a very serious incident that she got diagnosed with post-traumatic stress at the age of 6. Just so you can understand a little bit better. I couldn't cope with that. I also couldn't cope with the fact that she was home all the time. And I'm fighting the system to get her the support in which she needed. It never came. And I had to become the professional, which I did. Make no beans about it, but my experiences as well of what I learned, because I'm very good at analysing things. It can be a hindrance sometimes, but I've never been wrong. So when you are struggling yourself and you've got a child who's equally struggling, but you've made more sense of the world, they haven't, so they're relying on us to show them the way. So we have to pull out all the stops to try to not outspill to our children. So I have to reiterate, our coping strategies, guys, are more important than anything else. And I do that for a range of different tools. Music is my biggest tool. And that will be the first thing that I would go for when I wake up. Because you genuinely know as soon as your eyes are open. And before I started taking medication for my depression, I was waking up at 4 a.m. in panic attacks. I was waking up, going to the loo, I grind my teeth at night. So that would explain to me that my anxiety was through my whole body. And I'm thankful now that I can sleep and I don't have panic attacks. Because if we don't sleep, that's the first sign. If you're not having sleep, you almost know that what is going to come next is heightened depression and feelings and emotions, because you're not getting what your system needs to reset. And sleeping, we heal when we sleep. And I tell my children that is, if you're poorly, the best thing to do is sleep. So today I'm struggling, but we're going to pull it round, and this afternoon I'm going to plant some seeds with my children, and we'll video that hopefully, because I'm still taking their lead whether they're comfortable or not. I've obviously got videos that they've taken part in and they're happy with that, but they're still in that I don't know if I feel comfortable. So we're just going to have some fun, but I just want you guys to stop and look after you. It's not all sunshine and rainbows, but I do the best to always take a good positive out of the day and always have at least one good memory. And your camera on your phone, just go out and take some photos of the beautiful spring, the growth that's coming, the colours that are starting to come into our worlds. It's beautiful. So if you can do anything today, work on you, be kind to you. And if you're enjoying our channel, then please don't forget to subscribe, and then press the bell so you get notifications every time we go live. And I want to say thanks again for following us. It's going to be a journey, I promise you that, and it's going to be fun, and it's going to be about sharing tools, but also talking about mental health. And I get excited to talk about mental health because I know talking about it is going to help so many. So thank you, and keep smiling today and take one positive. Okay, bye.